Yo, what's up boys? It's Betta-ah here with my day 6 updates on Poison SrS, whereby you can expect to spend around about 15 divans with my current setup. However, I did get rather lucky in terms of dropping a Amanamu's Gaze while farming Abyss, so that saved me about 4.5 divans. And then yesterday I bought the Covenant for a whole 8 divans, whereby they are around about 9 or 10 depending on time of day. You can probably get them a bit cheaper. And other than that, I've upgraded the rings to Minion attack and cast speed. I've also started to gather up some spell suppression on gear. I was trying to roll the gloves as well and the helmet. However, I was unsuccessful, but I will continue to work on that. And the reason why I'm starting to work towards spell suppression is because I've already picked up Instinct on the tree. And then I've got the Green Nightmare ready here and the Aegis Aurora, but I'm not including that just yet. Other than that, everything else is the same for the skill tree. There's no other drastic changes. Of course, the 7 in Sleep must be your weapon and not a United in Dream. The reason why 7 in Sleep is much better is because it gives the 60% chance for your minions to inflict with it, and the reason why this is really good, along with the Envy skill. Of course, going back to the previous update video when we were running Haste, you could replace Haste with the Envy skill and then run Generosity on it. But yeah, moving back to the Withered, instead of having Withered on a link with Withering Touch specifically, you now pop in minion damage. This gives a overall amount of about 35% more damage for the build, which is really good. And then also, when I was farming Abyss, I also got pretty lucky on dropping a Darkness Enthroned with 98%, so that did save me, what is it, about 35 chaos. You can pick them up, it's not too expensive. So if you do not have a Covenant, of course, you must just use a normal 6-link body armor with life and some resistances, nothing all too special there. And then I also updated my shield to have the 12% chance to block on it, just to make sure that my block cap is up to 74% and 75% on the spell block when Bone Offering is up. Moving on to the Spectres, which you should be using. It is a Wild Bristle Matron, which is this huge bear over here. When it does its roar, it reduces enemies' action speed by 40%. This is really fantastic for bossing. And then, of course, the Arena Master, which is this dude over here. When he bashes his shield, he gives minions up to, well, a flat increase of 20% increased damage and attack speed, which lasts about 4 seconds and has a downtime of between 2 to 3. I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be incorrect. And then for your third Spectre is this Pale Seraphim over here. When it does its Screech on enemies, it increases damage taken by 15%. Right, so I've already included these underneath the PoB over here, as you can see. And then quickly moving on to your Guardian, which items you should be using is, of course, still the Dying Breath for the increased effect of curses on enemies and the increased damage. And then the Leocast for the minions have 50% increased damage. And then now I'm using a garb of the Ephemeral, so your action speed cannot be lowered below base value. This is really good for preventing those nasty chills, and that's when you are mapping. And then for the gloves, I'm using Asenath for the free explode that it gives, but more so for the cursed enemies with temporal chains. I have already added this in underneath the setup. This is how we are able to get to 32 million DPS. And then lastly, you have to have the windscreen boots so you can apply an additional curse. Alright, so just moving over onto the PoB, which you can find down below in the description, along with my current Atlas tree, but I'll get to that now. Obviously, you can get the Guardian items underneath the item set. But yeah, so fully buffed and fully ramped up with the poisons and everything, we are able to now achieve 32 million Pinnacle Boss DPS. As you can see, it's Pinnacle Boss DPS. If it were to be an Uber Boss, it will be about 9.5 million, but the build cannot do Ubers just yet. We don't have enough defense, and this is why I'm building more into the suppression, and I'll take some more life on the tree, and maybe might go into a cluster. But yeah, we are up to a effective hit pool of around about 98,000. The build is very, very comfortable at the moment. Alright, so for my Atlas strat, it remains exactly the same. I'm just farming Essence along with some Harvest and majority of the Abyss nodes, along with Searing Exarch 2, just for the bubblegum currency along the way, which is really, really helpful. And just jumping in, so what I'm currently doing is I'm using Essence on the map device, along with just a Rusted Abyss Scarab. Obviously, you can use a Polished yourself if you'd like to. So let's just jump on into a T16 Arid Lake, just for a quick mapping example of how the build does perform. So initially getting into your map, what you want to do is pop Malevolence. This gives about a 10 million increased DPS buff. Really, really good. And every 20 seconds or so, you pretty much just want to keep it up. And other than that, you just want to use your Arcanist brand on enemies now and then. As I mentioned with the Asenaths on the Animate Guardian, you can see the nice little explodes busy occurring. Very, very comfortable. One could even argue that you don't even need melee splash with the build. You can use multi-strike itself, and it pretty much just clears exactly the same way. I just find that melee splash makes it a little bit more comfortable to clear out some of the enemies and that. Alright, just pop the altar over there. Let's just get over onto Essence here. Reference. Yeah, the essences die really, really quickly, and it's very, very comfortable to map. The only issue sometimes, as you can see, is when the enemies are dealing a lot of damage, they will kill your SRS. So you should pretty much just try and spam SRS when you do encounter that, and not be like me and just face roll straight into the enemies and try and face tank everything at once. But once you do have capped spell suppression and that, and we move on into a Aegis Aurora along with Mind Over Matter, the build will feel way better, and then I will probably go on and start doing some Delirium content, or maybe I might just move on over onto my next build. Depends on how I am feeling with the build. But yeah, it is performing way better than when I originally created the build. The setup is pretty much on its way to being perfected at the moment. I also expect to almost become immortal, but I think that's a bit of a far-fetched statement, of course. But yeah, as you can see, the essences are very, very easy to kill. I wasn't even using Malevolence there. What a noob. Alright, let me just get to the boss here, just to show the boss damage. I'm also going to juice up the boss, just so it's got the extra life and the damage and that, and I'm going to try and get charged by it. There we got charged by it. So yeah, just ramp up SRS, and boom, boss is dead. Very, very simple, very, very easy to map with. I've got no complaints on the build, except for that obviously the Almanamur's Gaze is a little bit expensive, and so is the Covenant, but considering the huge power leap that you gain from it, it is well worth it. One quick thing that I would like to just cover real quick is in terms of doing the League mechanic, it is very, very, very easy. And the reason why I say this is because you can just fully ramp it all the way up until it's on Brutal and then Lethal. You just put down your Arcanist brand, pop your flasks, and just spam SRS and just pretty much run around in a circle around the enemies, and you won't have to worry about dying to them or anything, as your minions themselves will take the focus away from you, and it's very, very easy. As you can see, it's literally a walk in the park. It really is effortless, and I mean, if this isn't overpowered, then I really don't know what is. Alright, so that is it for this update video. I hope you enjoyed the video. And should you not yet be subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell as well. Maybe drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And if you would like to see how I'm progressing the build, I will be live pretty much every single day with it. And I hope to see you in stream then maybe. Alright Exiles, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.